You'd have to be living under a rock to have not heard by now that Steph Curry is having an absolutely monster season. The stuff that he's been doing throughout the first 20 games of the season is legitimately unheard of. He's already broken a couple records in terms of all-time three-pointers as well as consecutive games with a certain number of threes made, but it's looking like this is finally the season that we're going to see Steph Curry surpass Ray Allen as the NBA's all-time leader in three-point shots made. After 2 years of struggling, the Warriors are looking like the best team in the NBA again, and I'd argue that Steph Curry is looking like the best player in the world. Now, obviously, there's arguments for other players, but all things considered, to me, it looks like Curry is overwhelmingly the best player in the NBA. There are so many things that Steph Curry does that makes his game as effective as it is outside of just being a lights-out three-point shooter. So many guys can shoot threes now, and while Steph Curry is clearly the best at it, it's what he does prior to actually getting the ball in his hands that makes him so lethal. We're seeing a lot of progression in his game this season, which is weird to even be saying considering he's 33 years old. Some may disagree with this, but in my opinion, we're witnessing the best version of Steph Curry that we've ever seen. You're probably asking yourself, he averaged 30 points per game 2 different times. What's so good about this season? And that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video, so let's get into it. The Warriors had such a disappointing end to last season, seeing their season cut short in the play-in tournament by the Memphis Grizzlies. This spawned a huge amount of discussion regarding Steph Curry's ability and whether or not he was still good enough to lead a playoff team. Now, in hindsight, these debates were absolutely ridiculous and borderline disrespectful. Curry has come back with a vengeance this season and is exactly what we've come to expect from him and then some. You can take a look at his scoring ability this season, and somehow he's been able to get better despite it being his 13th season in the NBA. He's not scoring the 32 points per game he was last year, but this makes sense when you consider the fact that Jordan Poole has been playing a significant role on offense, as well as Andrew Wiggins. So naturally, Steph Curry's scoring is going to be down a little bit. But when you read between the lines, you see the bigger picture. Prior to this season, Steph Curry had a career average of 8.6 three-point attempts per game. So far this season, he is averaging 13.1 three-point attempts per game, and he's hitting them at a 42.3% clip. He's the only player in NBA history to attempt more than 12 three-point attempts per game and hit them at a 40% plus clip, a feat he has accomplished twice in his career. I mentioned earlier that some of the genius of Steph Curry is what happens before he even takes a shot. Let's take a look at this play here. Steph starts out with the ball in his hands and he feeds it to Kevon Looney, who then gives it to Draymond. Curry goes to set a screen on Okoro, allowing Wiggins to drive up the middle. As Wiggins is entering the paint, Curry uses Wiggins' cut almost as if it were a screen to generate an inch of space from Garland, and then Looney sets the screen on Garland to allow Draymond to feed Curry for an open three-point shot. On this play, Curry goes directly into the paint and sets a screen on Dosunmu and creates confusion between Caruso on who needs to cover Iguodala. Curry then cuts directly back up to the three-point line where Draymond can find him, and because Curry's release is so quick, Caruso immediately has to bite on the pump fake, and Curry is then able to get a wide open look. Now, the point of all of this is to illustrate Curry's all-time great off-ball movement. He's 6'3", yet he's able to set such intelligent screens that it confuses the defense, allowing him to either get himself an open look or someone else on his team to get an open look. And this leads me into my next point. Gravity is defined as the force that attracts a body towards the center of the earth or any other physical body that has mass. This concept is visible in basketball when discussing a player's scoring gravity. You can manipulate the definition of gravity to translate it to basketball terms. Scoring gravity is the force that attracts the opposing team's defense towards an individual player due to their immense ability to score the basketball. Let's illustrate this with a play. Curry has the ball on the perimeter. He gets doubled by Trae Young and Kevin Huerter, and then attracts John Collins as he approaches the free throw line. Green, who was previously covered by Collins, is now free to receive a shovel pass on his cut from Curry for an easy layup. Now, this play wouldn't have been possible if Steph didn't have such immense scoring gravity. He demands so much defensive attention because he can kill you from anywhere on the floor. He is quite literally sucking the defense towards him, which leaves his teammates wide open. This is why when you talk about Steph Curry's playmaking ability, you can't just look at the assist numbers. You have to look at these things like gravity. A number that helps illustrate this concept is box creation, which is an estimate of the open looks that a player will create for his teammates per 100 possessions. Steph Curry has a box creation of 15.4 open looks per 100 possessions, a statistic in which he leads the entire NBA. When you create so many opportunities for your teammates, but you're also one of the league's best scorers, there's not a whole lot the opposing team can do to effectively game plan for you. Now, it's very unusual for a player to become a legitimately great defender in his 13th season, but somehow that's what Steph Curry is doing. Earlier on in his career, he was probably a bit too small in frame to be an impactful perimeter defender, but I think since he's bulked up a pretty significant amount since his younger days, he's able to combine that with his really smart nose for steals and his ability to disrupt passing lanes, resulting in him now being a really reliable guard defender. Right now, he's top 10 in steals per game, and his defensive advanced statistics are showing that he is truly a positive defender. When he's on the floor, the Golden State Warriors have a defensive rating of 98.8, which would be by far the best in the league. When he leaves the floor, that rating declines by 5.5 points to 104.3. They currently have the best defensive rating in the NBA, and that wouldn't be possible without the defensive improvement from Steph Curry. Now, it's way too early to be calling anyone the definitive MVP, but if the season were to end today, I think there's a pretty clear argument for Steph Curry. Now, there's still guys like Jokic, KD, Giannis, and a few other guys that have definitely made their impression and definitely have an argument for the award, but Curry has been on an entirely different level. The Warriors are on pace to beat their 73-9 record, currently sitting at 18-2 at the time of this recording, and they don't even have Klay back yet. I think Curry is probably not nearly as concerned with winning MVP as he is with winning another title and securing a Finals MVP. If Curry were to do that, it would be hard for anybody to argue against him being one of the top 10 greatest players in NBA history. So do you think that Steph will win another MVP this year? Do you think that the Warriors are favorites to win the finals? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you're new to the channel, why not consider hitting that subscribe button? I'm posting NBA content all the time, so if you love the NBA, then you won't regret subscribing. Be sure to leave a like on the video because that is the best way to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps get this video recommended to more people. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks.